All right. All right. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. Let me know if it's popping up. Is it popping up for everyone? All right. Are we all here? I'll give everyone a second to come in, and then we will get into it. Give me 1 second. All righty. So welcome in, everyone. I see you guys are rolling in. I see you guys are coming in here. So thank you very much. I appreciate you spending your Tuesday night with me. I appreciate you guys being a part of this. It means a lot. So I'll give everyone a second to roll in here. Then we are going to get into this. We are going to explain everything that's going on. I will give you my thoughts on it. I will give you my takeaways, the latest updates of what we have with a potential war with Venezuela. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I've been doing live streams. I took a little break, got very busy, and I thought, you know what? I need to get back in this. We need to get and have this rolling. We need to get back with the audience, take Q&A, and have me explain where I see things. So we've gained a lot of new viewers over the past several months. We have brought in about 100,000 new subscribers, roughly, give or take, I believe, over the past 3 months. So that's where we are at. So I want to take this opportunity, talk with all of you about what is going on. And the way this works is you guys are able to ask me any questions you want. I'm going to lay out everything as we have it. I'm going to give you all the information I have, my views on it with Venezuela, where are we at, what are the strike options that we have at our disposal, how soon will this happen, what pieces are moving, and then you guys will, from time to time, take questions. We'll throw them up on the screen. We'll let the audience get in on it and debate. And I don't think anyone here is going to be surprised by my view from the jump. So real quick, I'm going to try to get to as many questions as I can. Super chats obviously get priority. We have closing on 1,300 concurrents. So super chats get priority in the questions. I will get to as many as I can, and I'm going to show you what we have going on here. So thank you again. Let's get ready to roll. I'll give everyone a quick second to get in. Give me 1 second. I got text messages rolling in as we speak. I got messages rolling in. So I want to make, okay, so we're at 1,300 concurrents. Okay, we're going to get into it. And I want everyone to just understand the stakes and the gravity of where we are at and what we are doing and how we got here and what comes next. So the reality of the situation is, at this point in time, all signs point without any doubt that we will be striking Venezuela. I'll repeat that to make myself very clear. We will be striking Venezuela. There is no doubt whatsoever. You do not bring this much firepower to the fight if you don't plan to use it. And I want to make this clear right from the jump. And this might ruffle some feathers, but I'm going to say it. And for those of you who've been with me for a long time, you know that it doesn't really matter whether or not people like what I have to say. I'm going to say what I think. And if people don't like it, they're not going to like it. I couldn't give a shit less. The reality of it is this. The United States military has the strongest military in the history of the world. We have the most technologically advanced military in the history of the world. Our air power is something the rest of the world couldn't dream of coming up with. We have and have built thousands of F-35s, hundreds of F-22s. We've got the B-2 stealth bomber. We've got the B-21 Raider, the next generation stealth bomber. We have the Marines. we've got the Army, we've got the Navy. We have those big, big, beautiful aircraft carriers. The Gerald R. Ford is now in the Caribbean with at least 75 planes on it, ready to rock and roll. We've got Tier 1 operations. We've got Delta Force. We've got SEAL Team 6. And at the end of the day, when we decide that we're done taking someone's garbage, when we decide that you're not going to play in our background and threaten our people, our military is going to come and crush you. Crush you. And that is what brings us here today. Let's talk about the dictatorship of Nicolas Maduro. Nicolas Maduro, while he did win his original election when he replaced Chavez as the leader of Venezuela, he is an illegitimate gangster thug criminal who has robbed the good people of Venezuela, has put his boot on the neck of the good people of Venezuela, and he has aligned himself with criminal factions, Tren de Aragua, Cartel of the Suns, more on that later, and has pushed violence, drugs, carnage, and chaos into this country, into the country we all call home, or many of you watching call home. And if Nicolas Maduro is going to go out there and threaten our people, then we have no choice but to take him out, but to annihilate him. Someone just asked, I just saw this come up. No, I'm not in a wheelchair. I can walk very, very much. That was funny, though. But we cannot allow, in our hemisphere, we all know what the Monroe Doctrine is, right? The Monroe Doctrine makes it crystal clear that in our hemisphere, we run the show. We control what is going on. We don't allow adversaries to have influence in our hemisphere. Not going to happen, not going to work, not going to tolerate it. And because of that, Venezuela is primed and ready to get smoked. It's not just about the drugs. It's not just about Tren de Aragua. It's not just about the cartels of the Sun and the Sinaloa cartel. It's not just the drugs and cartels. It's way more. Think big picture here. Venezuela, in our hemisphere, which we control, has aligned itself with China, Russia, and Iran, and has allowed our three biggest adversaries an influence in our hemisphere and oil and other resources in our hemisphere. Remember, Venezuela is a rich, resource-rich country. Now, the only people that get access to the resources, of course, are the Maduro regime and his cronies, are the Maduro regime and his gangster thug friends. And they, for far too long, have been led to believe that they can come up to this country, push their criminals up here, empty out their insane asylums, put the most violent members of their society, get them into the U.S., poison our people, kill our people, destabilize our society, destabilize the regime, destabilize the way of life, the whole region. Venezuela is a cancer. And when you have a cancer, what do? You fight it aggressively. And the United States government clearly has made the decision under the leadership of President Donald Trump that the time for Maduro to go is now. And we've got the aircraft carrier. We've got all the guided missile destroyers. We've got F-35s. We're flying B-52s off their coast. We're flying B-1s off their coast. We've got enough firepower to make that horrible, horrible dictator's regime disappear in a matter of hours. And that is what we are going to do. That is 1,000% what we are going to do. And it's what we should do. If we can use our military to fight wars 6,000 miles away, and I'm happy to debate those wars, I'm happy to discuss those, but if we can use our military to strike 6,000 miles away, we damn sure can use it to smoke out people on our doorstep. And if you want to threaten this country, which Nicolas Maduro hasn't just threatened this country, He has conducted himself in a fashion that has directly led to the deaths of Americans, destabilization of the region. And those crimes alone are more than enough justification to absolutely destroy him. And furthermore, the fact of the matter is this: Venezuela's military essentially exists on paper only. They've got 2 to 3 functional F-16s. They've got 20 to 30 Su-30 1990s age fighter jets. They've got no long-range bombers. They have no formidable Navy, which we will get into later as well. And why would we not press our advantage? There's more air power at the local Air Guard base in Madison, Wisconsin, than there is in the entire country of Venezuela. So we have to take care of this problem. It is that simple. In life, there's a lot of gray. But when it comes to the protection of our people, which this is what it is about, there is no gray. That is a black and white issue. So as soon as you start doing anything that leads to the death of Americans, I'm sorry, you're done. You're done. Now, whether you pack your bags and flee, or whether we drop a beautiful big bomb on your head, it doesn't really matter to me. But you got to go. You got to go. You're not staying in power. Maduro is done. Maduro is cooked. This war is happening. It is 1,000% going to happen. And if anyone thinks it's not, then I would tell you, open your eyes and pay attention to what is going on. 6 months ago, we had almost no military assets in the region. Almost none. Other than your general, I guess, what would you call it? Your general readiness levels. You've got some small boats stopping drugs, but you don't have battleships. You don't have cruisers. You don't have guided missile destroyers. You don't have drone strikes eviscerating and ventilating any ship that gets in the water carrying drugs. You don't have bombers flying off the coast of Venezuela. We've seen this before. We've seen the buildups like this before. If you want to go to war, you have to set the conditions to engage in that battle. Whether it's the first Gulf War, the invasion of Panama to get rid of Noriega, which is the playbook they are literally running right now. Whether it's the Iraq War, the invasion of Afghanistan, you got to put the pieces in place. And what the Trump administration is doing right now is putting the pieces in place. And by putting the pieces in place, he gives himself the opportunity to go out there and crush this absolute piece of human filth. And if people are offended by me saying that, pull your head out of the sand. Look at the damage these drugs have done to this country. Look at the damage these criminals have done to this country. Look at what they've done to their own people. Maduro kills those he disagrees with. There is a horrific video of when he stole power and started driving over people in armored vehicles, massacring them, innocent civilians. He's planning to do a false flag right now as we speak, which I reported on back on October 12th. And then the U.S. government confirmed publicly just a few days ago. This is who these people are. This is the animal that we're dealing with. So President Trump has made the decision, we're not putting up with this anymore. You're not going to kill our people. You're not going to poison our children. You're not going to break up our communities. You're not going to ravage small town America, everyone getting addicted to every substance known to man, which these guys facilitate and harbor and promote so that they can enrich themselves. No, you're going to die. It's that simple. And I would ask anyone who defends Maduro, why do you think Maduro is a good guy? Why do you think Maduro, and I'm talking about leaders in the region, Russia, China. I understand why Russia and China are close with Venezuela. They got a lot of oil. and they're right in our backyard. It's not that dissimilar from Cuba during the Cold War. So this war will happen. And when it comes to ways that it could happen, we kind of already know. So I'm going to put this on the screen for you. Give me 1 second to get it teed up here. Got to get it. You guys know me. I'm on StreamYard. All right. This is how this war is going to go. I'm going to walk you through exactly how this war is going to go. First, you got to get legal justification. The United States prohibits the assassinating of other world leaders. Now, I do want to say it prohibits that on paper. So actually, let me see if I can get a screenshot of this so that I can zoom it in for you guys so you can see more what Rubio is saying here. Because what I'm about to show you is the legal justification for what is going to happen. All right, right here. So you got to get the legal framework. The United States has a law prohibiting the assassination of other world leaders. Now, whether or not you think that law is correct or not, we can debate another time. But you know what the United States government does not prohibit? Killing criminals, killing terrorists, killing people who are hell-bent on killing you. That is well within the rules of engagement for the United States. So right here, Secretary of State Marco Rubio says State Department intends to designate Cartel de los Soles as a foreign terrorist organization. Headed by the illegitimate Nicolas Maduro, the group has corrupted the institutions of government in Venezuela and is responsible for terrorist violence conducted by and with other designated FTOs as for trafficking drugs and into the United States of America. So what you see here is the Secretary of State has laid it out clear. We do not view Maduro as a head of state. He is a cartel leader. He's a narco-terrorist. He's a terrorist leader. What do we do to terrorist leaders? Come on, everyone help me out in the chat. What do we do to terrorist leaders? We kill them. Osama bin Laden. Let's talk about UBL for a little bit. UBL, the founder of Al-Qaeda, planned and oversaw the 9/11 attack. What happened after that? We hunted him on the other side of the world, and then in May 2011, SEAL Team 6 went into Abbottabad, Pakistan, and shot and killed him. What did we do to the head of ISIS? Baghdadi, 2019. Syria. ISIS murdered Americans. ISIS brutalized innocent people. ISIS was maybe the most horrific, sadistic terrorist organization to ever live or ever exist. And you know what we did? We flew Delta Force into a compound in Syria, and that piece of garbage coward blew himself up and killed his own kids in the process. If you are a terrorist and you are going to threaten this country, we will find you and we will kill you. End of story. So what you see on your screen right here is Secretary of State Marco Rubio laying out the legal justification for how we are going to get this done, for how we are going to put Maduro in the rules of engagement. And the rules of engagement are this. You're not a world leader, pal. You're a dirtbag terrorist like the rest of them. And when you're a dirtbag terrorist, that means we can fly in. We have all the legal justification we need to wipe you out. And that is clearly what the intention is here, without any doubt. So I'm going to lay out the strike options next of how and when this can start, because he tweeted this on Monday, November 17th. Okay. November 17th. And on the official State Department website, it was announced that the terrorist effect goes into, takes impact on November 24th. So what we have now is a 1 week from the 17th to the 24th. We have a 1 week essentially negotiating period. And President Trump says we might talk to the Venezuelans, because I want to be clear. If Maduro flees the country and we don't have to put any of our people at risk and we can bring the regime down without having to worry about any of our guys dying, that is the best case outcome. So we are now in a negotiating period where we're going to see if Maduro decides to get gone, pack his bags, update your passport, start learning Russian. You're going to be living in Moscow with Bashar al-Assad. That's where you're going, pal, if you want to leave with your life. If you don't want to leave with your life, stay where you are right now, and then we'll just, like I said, drop a bomb on your head. Pretty simple, pretty easy to figure out. So that is the legal justification. As of November 24th, the United States of America will have complete and total legal authority to kill Nicolas Maduro. And that is what could happen. So I'm going to take a few chats here real quick, and then we're going to get into how this war plan is going to go. So I'm going to pull this off the screen. I use StreamYard. It actually is incredible. All right. Big Ratty, glad your channel came across my feed. Thank you very much for watching. It means a lot. What do you think is the major holdup for kinetic action? This comes from Talis Hentgaze. If I'm mispronouncing that, I do apologize. The holdup for kinetic action is what kind of I just explained. Hitting boats in international waters is one thing. You don't really need any justification to do that. They're drug runners. They're criminals. They're trying to bring drugs into America to poison our people. Drop a bomb on them. Simple, cut and dry. When you're going to attack on land in another country, you got to have legal justification to do it, and it has to be pretty much airtight. So that's the 1 week period we are now in before November 24th comes, when we're going to figure out how this is going to roll. So that is the reason for the delay in kinetic action. You also want to take time to map all of their air defense networks, identify all key top targets, all of where their major stuff is. You want to have a lock on Maduro. You want to have a lock on all of his generals. You want to have a lock on all the gangsters with him. And that requires you to build an intel package. And that takes time. Doesn't happen overnight. The United States is the best in the world at it. Doesn't happen overnight. Still takes time. We're doing that. These plans are always on a shelf somewhere. They pull them off the shelf, decide what we're going to do. And now you are seeing this right here. So the delay is we got to get him to the foreign terrorist organization designation. Once we do, he is now within the legal rules of engagement. We're going to give him this week to essentially pack his bags and leave. And if he doesn't, we then will have full legal justification to take him out. Clark, $2 says, David, will Trump strike first? Yeah, because if Venezuela shoots at us first, let's map this out. If Venezuela bombs a U.S. Navy ship in the Caribbean, and let's say kills some people, God forbid, sinks it, the United States within the next 4 to 6 hours would obliterate all of Venezuela's command and control. Every plane they have on the ground would be eliminated. Their government leaders under the Maduro regime would be 1,000% targeted. They would be taken out. You would see hell unleashed in a fashion you can't even imagine. You think the strikes that we did in Iran, dropping 30,000-pound bunker busters, was bad for the Iranians? If they fired on our planes or fired on our ships, what we would do to the Maduro regime, there would be no opportunity to escape at that point. Escape would be off the table if they shoot first at American troops. They do that, and we are going to steamroll them in a fashion the world didn't even know was possible. And okay, we got Justin here. Do you think Trump takes out the Colombian leader within 1 year? Good work. Thank you very much, Justin, for watching. I appreciate it. I don't know. That's a good question. So that's Petro. Let me Google that guy's name. I hate that guy. He is such an idiot. So you're talking about, what's his name again? Yeah, Gustavo Petro. That guy threatened to kill Trump. That guy threatened to take out Trump. That alone is justification to deal with him. You want to threaten the president of the United States? I don't even care who the president of the United States is. I don't care if it's Obama, Biden, Trump, Bush, Clinton. Any foreign leader that threatens the leader of the United States should be dealt with in the harshest way possible. The harshest way possible. And so I don't know if we're going to take out Colombia. That's a good question. I think Colombia is about to have a front row seat to the show that's about to go down in Venezuela. And I'm guessing their leader after that is going to make the decision, I really don't want to do this. This seems like a bad idea. Let's not do this. And probably won't. All right. This is, I don't know what that screen name is, but it says Venezuelan abroad here. Happy to talk live. Hit on bottom of the screen, Instagram, David_Hookstead, XD Hookstead. By the way, please make sure to like and subscribe the channel, comment, and then hit that notifications bell, all notifications on. But right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, XD Hookstead. Those are my social media channels. My DMs are wide open on both. If you have anything you want to send me or you want to talk about what's going on, please reach out there and I will absolutely get to it. All right, hold on. I got to get this set up. All right. The key to this situation is an organization called Foro de Sao Paulo. Brazil will be involved soon. So I don't know what that is. I'll admit to you, I don't know what that is. So I apologize for that, but that is a good tip for me to look into. So I will look into that and I will report back to you. All right. We got a ton of comments coming in. All right. We'll get to some more comments soon. Before we get to more comments soon, let's go ahead and I am going to now lay out strike options that almost certainly have already been presented to the president. Hold on. I saw something a little crazy in the chat. All right. So President Trump, I'm going to pull my notes up here. President Trump has a couple strike options at his disposal. I would say he has 4 main strike options at his disposal. And those strike options are a variety of things with varying degrees of severity for Nicolas Maduro. You've got the top option, which is just complete annihilation of the regime. And then you've got more of like slapping him on the hand saying, don't do that anymore. Those options are all on the table. The military planners bring that to the president. The president then has to make the decision on what we are going to do. Option number 1, I would say this is more of a slap on the wrist option. It is the cruise missile option. That would be option number 1. That would be the least serious option. That would be the option that could do a significant amount of damage, but Maduro might be able to hang on and not lose his life in the process. And it might be enough to just get him off the ledge, get him back under control. And that is something that I'm sure the president is talking about. What is the cruise missile option? The cruise missile option is what we've seen in the past with Syria, what we've seen in the past in the 90s with Iraq. With the cruise missile option, you're not going for total overthrow of the regime. You're trying to reestablish deterrence. You are trying to make it clear to the Maduro criminal organization that if you continue, we will escalate. So what you do with the cruise missile option, I actually have this that I'm going to put on the screen because it's going to be important for a lot of what we're talking about here. So let me get this on the screen for you. All right. So what you see here comes from Ian Ellis, and I think he did it in coordination with SA Defensa, both great accounts. Go check those guys out if you're curious in this. It says mapping potential military targets in Venezuela. Yesterday, the U.S. announced Operation Southern Spear to remove narco terrorists from our hemisphere. With the Forward Carrier Strike Group now on station in Southcom, the U.S. could launch land strikes at any time. So that is what you see here on your screen is a list of different target options that the president is going to be presented. These are military, government, drug cartel, a variety of different air bases, naval bases, ports, army, air defense. What you see right here in front of you is every critical target that the Venezuelans have. So if they decide to go with the cruise missile option, what you would see happen is they would hit with probably 50 to 60 cruise missiles spread out across targets, key critical military infrastructure. The cruise missile option. It would knock out their military power. It would knock out their air power. It would be brutal for the Maduro regime. Their ability to defend themselves would decrease rapidly. And this is how this is going to roll. And that option is exactly what we did with Bashar al-Assad in Syria. You're not really trying to overthrow the government. What you're trying to do is terrify them to start behaving. So things you would want to hit with the cruise missile option. This is option number one. You're going to want to go ahead and hit their air defense systems. You're going to have to take those out right away, because cruise missile option, you have to assume you might have to escalate up the chain. So you would target air defense. You would target any known drug facilities, any facilities that are known to house supplies, money, labs, things of that nature. You're going to hit those in the cruise missile option. You're probably going to target their airstrips as well to make sure that if you go up the ladder, those airstrips no longer exist, cannot be used by the bad guys, if you will. So that's your cruise missile option. Air defense, airstrips, drug facilities. You do not target the regime directly. You do not go for Maduro. You do not go for military leaders. You stay with specific targets on the ground to cripple their ability to continue the fight if it continues. That is the least serious option. It is the option that likely does not result in Maduro leaving power. The cruise missile option. We'll call that the light option. The next option would be cruise missiles combined with bombers. Why is this a bit different? Well, cruise missiles warheads can be a variety of sizes, can be hundreds of pounds. I think let me see how much a Patriot cruise missile warhead weighs. So your Patriots are going to be about 200. You've got other ship-based missiles that are going to be bigger. So that's a hell of a lot of firepower. That is a ton of firepower. But what you don't get with that are the heavy bombs you can get with the B-2. We know about the GBU-57. That's what was used in Iran. That's a 30,000-pound bomb. 30,000-pound bomb. You get all these heavy bombs carried in your B-1s, your B-52s. The B-52 alone, fully loaded, carries 70,000 pounds of bombs. I believe the B-2's max payload is similar, right around 60,000, 70,000. So in this situation, you hit them first with the cruise missiles, you hit their air defense, you hit their field, their airstrips to make sure the planes can't get up and fight. You hit them wherever, anything that could threaten the bombers, you take out with the cruise missiles. Then the B-52s come in, the B-2s come in, the B-1s come in. Maybe you see the B-21 come in, and then you really unload on these dudes. And now you're going for bigger targets. You're going for structures. You're going for command and control. Now you are putting the regime at risk of total collapse. You're going for headquarters buildings. You're going for warehouses storing anything vital to the Venezuelan regime. You could be going for Maduro's bunker. This is an option that where we get into this territory, Tomahawk missile. Sorry, someone pointed out that Tomahawk is what I'm looking for. So the Tomahawk is, okay, that's thousands of pounds. The warhead on that is thousands of pounds. There you go. There you go. And I want to make clear, we don't want to hurt innocent Venezuelans. We have no interest in that. We like the good people of Venezuela. The good people of Venezuela have lived under the repressive regime of Chavez and Maduro. And if you're Venezuelan or you're in Venezuela watching this, I beg you, do not die for Maduro, because he damn sure wouldn't die for you. He'll throw you into the trenches. He'll throw you into the meat grinder. He doesn't care how many of you die. Do not lose your life for him. We are coming to help. We are not coming to hurt you. The only people we're coming for is Maduro and his criminal regime. That is it. End of story. So the bomber cruise missile option, that's option 2. Now we're going to go into the territory of boots on the ground. Option 3, you drop in the Army Rangers. You see now, by the way, as we work up the ladder, it includes all the other options we've already talked about. So you start with just the cruise missiles. Then you move up. Now we're in the cruise missiles and bombers. If you go up, now we're talking troops on the ground. What do I mean by troops on the ground? What do the Army Rangers do better than anyone else on the planet? Airfield seizure. Airfield seizure. Their bread and butter is to drop into areas, parachute in, hold it, so more supplies and ground forces can come in. So after the bombers have gone to work and after the bombers have lit up everything they can find, what you likely want to do next is you want to bring in your 82nd Airborne, your Army Rangers, your Navy SEALs. Your Rangers take the airfields, your 101st hit secondary targets, your Navy SEALs try to take the ports. You got the Marines. They also go for the ports. You've got the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit. And now you are in control of their most important assets. You got control of the airports. You got control of the airfields. You got control of the oil fields. You've got control of the ports. And now you can starve them out. Now you can make them feel, you can make the Maduro, the criminal Maduro regime. I'm going to pull this off the screen real quick. You can make the criminal Maduro regime feel the pain. And now you can lay siege to him, essentially. And if he doesn't want to go at that point, that leads me to option number 4. And this is the one that sees Maduro likely lose his life, without question. Now, the bombing option maybe makes him lose his life. The troops going in could, but this is the option that almost certainly ends with Maduro in a body bag. And that is if we go full on Baghdadi or bin Laden style raid and we take him out, Delta Force or SEAL Team 6, go in, helicopters, Black Hawks. You know, we do have those stealth Black Hawk helicopters, those beautiful birds as they call them. And they come into wherever he's hiding and just start shellacking dudes. They could come in just like UBL, just like Baghdadi, and then boom. Because remember, Delta Force and SEAL Team 6, they train every day in the shoot house to do missions just like that. That is what they do. That is what they are experts in. And if you think for 1 second that Maduro and his loyalists have any chance when Delta Force shows up at 3 a.m., night vision goggles on, you got the little green glow, you got your suppressed weapon, they make breach on multiple points of the building, and then boom, it's over before they even knew what hit them. You're going in dark, they're not even going to see you coming. You think Osama bin Laden, in the pitch black of his compound in Abbottabad, had any idea what was about to happen? How close those guys were to him? Point blank range. Why? Because they had night vision and Osama bin Laden did not. This is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. So those are your 4 options. That's the menu of options, if you will. By the way, I got this cool American flag. Don't we love America? We got an American flag hat. We got an American flag mug. So those are your 4 options. That's the menu of options the president will be presented. just cruise missiles, slap them on the hand. Hey, Maduro, stop. No, no, no. No more. Personally, I don't like that option very much. That scumbag has shredded this community and must be dealt with. The consequences must be worse than just a slap on the wrist. At minimum, this war should start with bombers and cruise missiles. And then maybe you give Maduro a chance to go. I'm going to answer some more questions coming up here shortly. So get your super chats in. I see them. They're coming in. I haven't missed any. If you got a super chat, I will 1000% answer your question. And you can ask anything you want. Some of you are just meeting me for the first time over the past couple of weeks. If you got a question of curiosity, let me know. So that's option 2, I think, is the minimum place we start. Bombers and cruise missiles. Right now with the boats, we're just hitting them with Hellfires for the most part, I believe. That's a lot of power there. But we can ramp that baby up. Those are rookie numbers. We can hit them even more. If that fails, you go in, you take the airfields, you take the airports, you take the oil fields, you seize everything they have, and you make sure they have no ability to fight back, and you starve the regime out. And again, I don't need some scumbag clipping this and being like, I'm calling for everyone in Venezuela to starve. Not at all. I want to come help you. I am with the good people of Venezuela. I am with the good people of Venezuela who want freedom, who hate Nicolas Maduro. We are coming for Maduro. And we're not just coming for a little bit of it. We're coming for the whole thing. This clown has been allowed to stay in power for far too long. And it ain't going to fly anymore. Now we're coming for it all. And if that means he gets dragged out of his bunker and zipped up in a bag and brought back to the U.S., so be it. And if he didn't want that to happen, he could have left. But instead, he chose to give China, Russia, Iran a foothold in our hemisphere. And that ain't going to be allowed to happen. So I'm going to get to some questions now. Let me see here. Make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. We got Hangman TV, $4.99. Thank you very much, Hangman. Joining the Rangers in January. You think we'll be done with Venezuela by the time I get to my platoon in May? Yes. This will. I don't know if that was a disappointing answer. I don't know if you wanted to go. First off, thank you very much for what you're doing. I love the Army Rangers. The Army Rangers, the most badass. I mean, dude, I have all the love in the world. Some of my closest friends were Army Rangers. Then they went up to the tier 1 level and did some incredible things. Do I think the Venezuela crisis, the Caribbean crisis, will be done by May? I think absolutely it's done by May. I would be shocked if it was not done by May. Yes, I think you're going to miss out on this one, but you know what? Very cool. You're going to be in the Army Rangers. That is awesome, dude. Good for you. Thank you. That is cooler than anything I've ever done in life, for sure. US Viridian G, $10. US expat here watching from South Korea. Tension in this area for sure. Taiwan, Philippines, South Korea, Japan. US intervention is needed. That's a topic for another video. I have made some videos about China. I have made some videos about what China is doing. I love the South Koreans. South Korea is a beautiful, beautiful country full of great people. And you know what? They're a phenomenal U.S. ally. I got nothing but good things to say about the South Koreans. If Taiwan is touched, the U.S. will come out. If Taiwan is touched, the U.S. will come out. I promise you that. And unlike China, our military actually knows how to fight. Kevin Stankwitz. Kevin, I apologize if I butchered that. $10. Thank you very much. Should President Trump cut a deal with President Putin of Russia where we, the U.S., stop supporting Zelensky in Ukraine and Putin stop supporting Maduro in Venezuela, Colombia, Cuba, and Brazil, and BRICS? It's an interesting idea, but here's the thing. Russia doesn't really have the ability to help Venezuela other than ship them some weapons. Russia is a very close ally of Venezuela, but being a close ally of Venezuela is not going to be enough to save Venezuela. Russia actually had troops on the ground in Syria. They had Air Force presence, they had Navy presence, they had special operations presence in Russia. Still did not save Bashar al-Assad from HTS overthrowing him. And HTS is just like a ragtag team of terrorists, for lack of a better term. So I don't think we need to make a deal with Putin at all, because there's nothing Putin can do. And why should we make a deal with him when he can't really influence this outcome? There's nothing he can do to help Venezuela right now other than ship them weapons. And I think if he ships them weapons and those weapons are used to kill American service members, that's going to be a big problem for Putin. All right, we've got Tim Weaver sent a couple of these. Looks like $6 total. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Kevin back in the chat. Kevin, thank you very much. I love our loyal viewers. It says, why have Maduro's generals not ended the Maduro regime already to save themselves by cutting a deal with the U.S.? That's actually a great question. That's a great question. There's a couple answers to it. Number one, they're not the leadership of Maduro, the Maduro regime is not stupid. They know that the way you stop a coup from happening, the way you stop someone from putting a bullet in the back of your head, is you have to essentially pay for their loyalty. You pay so that they don't turn on you. And so the generals in Venezuela live very comfortable lives. They got a lot of money. They're in control. They get to do what they want. So they don't really want to see the regime overthrown, most of them. Because if the regime is overthrown, they're going to be walked out into the center of a town square, put on trial for their crimes, and then either be sent to prison or executed. So they're not eager, much like Gaddafi's generals, Bashar al-Assad's generals. When you cozy up to a dictator and you do business with a dictator, your fate is tied to the dictator. And those generals know that. Now, having said that, we have a $50 million bounty on Maduro's head. That's not to get guys from SEC football country to drive down to or sail down to Venezuela and try to shoot him. That's not the goal. The goal is to get his generals without question to take them out for us. And then we would cut a deal. We would give them a deal. We'd say, hey, you kill him, you take him out. Here's your $50 million. And now you get to come live in America. That's why they probably haven't done it, but you just need one general to agree to do it. We'd have to probably help him get out of the country, but for $50 million, we wouldn't have to invade. He'd be gone. It's kind of a bargain. Jason Smith, $1. Thank you very much. And then Viridian G is back. Hi, David. Any merch? $10. No, we do not have any merch. I just saw something I want to answer because people ask this question all the time. So I'm going to put this guy on the screen. We should work on merch. Merch would be a good idea. If you go to Outkick, we have, so for those of you who don't know, Outkick, that's where I do my regular job, if you will. They have some merch there. I actually have a military shirt we made a while back. So if you're interested, they sell some cool stuff there for sure. We should probably get on making some merch just for this, because I think, would you guys want merch? Would you buy some cool merch? What would your merch ideas be? Let me know in the chat. All right. I'm going to respond to this. Someone who didn't serve in the military like you, David Hookstead, you preach war every day. You're a warmongering coward. I don't preach war every day. I don't think we should be fighting halfway across the world. I don't think we need to get entangled in everything. I do think we should get entangled in things when it helps America. And if you don't want to see Maduro pay for his crimes and pay for what he's done, how many young men in America have died from the poison they push? How many innocent girls have been victims of Tren de Aragua? How many people have suffered at what this regime has done? That's it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you an idiot? That's absolutely an insane thing to say. I'm not warmongering. In fact, I love our military so much, I don't want to see any of them get hurt. But they exist, the military exists to defend the United States of America and to defend our people. And our people are hurting right now. And we've got 100,000 people a year dying from drugs. And they're coming from those drugs are coming from a lot of different places. And that, to me, what an insanely stupid comment. What an insanely stupid comment. Listen, if you want to hurt our people, if you want to hurt our sons, hurt our daughters, hurt our parents, I want you dead. I want you dead. Because I believe America is worth defending. And I believe the people of America are worth defending. And if you want to come kill our people, whether it be through violence or whether it be through drugs, you're a criminal. You're a terrorist. You're a piece of garbage. You're an animal on two legs. You're no different than ISIS. You're no different than Al Qaeda. And what did we do with ISIS and Al Qaeda, as we already talked about? We crushed them. We beat the absolute shit out of them, because that's what you do when someone threatens your people. It's no different than if someone breaks into your house and you got kids home, you got a wife you love. You have to take action. And it does not mean you love violence. Does not mean that you love war. What it does mean is you love your own people enough to defend them. And that is what I am calling for. I don't want to see any more Americans die from drugs. I don't want to see any more die from violence that is brought here to this country. I've had enough. I went to high school with people whose lives have been ruined by this. One of my close friends in high school died from a fentanyl overdose. So this isn't just me talking about, oh, I think war is cool. I don't think war is cool at all. I think it's violent, it's brutal, it's disgusting at times, but it's also necessary to defend your people. And I'm willing to defend our people. We've got a super chat here for $2. Someone asked me how to send a super chat. That is how you do it, right there. All right. Send your questions. Keep sending your questions. And I will. So we're saying yes to merch. People are saying yes for Hookstead merch. All right. There you go. Pacific Viper. That's the name of the operations in the Pacific to blow up the drug boats as well as to stop the inflow of drugs. I like it. And that leads me to this point. This is actually a good segue. Let me get it teed up here. I want to show you guys this video. Give me a moment. Hold on. Got to get it set up. Let me make sure I've got this ready to go. All right, here we go. I'm going to put this on the screen for y'all. We'll go full screen. President Trump was asked the other day in the Oval Office what he thinks about possibly hitting drug cartels in Mexico. Should we bomb Mexico? Let me know in the chat. Do you want to see the drug cartels in Mexico be lit up? Should we smash them? Should we send Delta Force in to hit them? Should we go in and just annihilate the cartels right on our border? Sounds like President Trump is more than open to it.
We'd love to help them.
You're also potentially launching strikes in Mexico or putting American troops or American personnel into Mexico to deal with the cartels.
Would I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. Whatever we have to do.
See, right there, he gets asked, should we launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? Okay with me. Let's watch that back real quick. This is classic Trump.
Putting American troops or American personnel into Mexico to deal with the
Would I
cartels.
launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. Whatever we have to do to stop drugs. Mexico is, look, I looked at Mexico City over the weekend. There's some big problems over there. if we had to, would we do there what we've done to the waterways? You know, there's almost no drugs coming in through our waterways anymore. Isn't it down like 85%?
It is, sir.
I don't know who the 15%.
So right there, President Donald Trump says he is more than willing to go in to Mexico and bomb the cartels. So sound off in the comments right now if you think we should also hit the cartels in Mexico. And I'm going to give you my views on this point blank. Kind of like the way UBL got hit, point blank. I'm never going to be a guy who holds back. I'm never going to be a guy who doesn't tell you what I think in the moment. If the Mexican government cannot handle the drug cartels, and we know they cannot because they have failed to do so, then we will do it for them. And here's how I think this will likely actually go. I think we will go to the Mexican government. The Mexican government publicly will either keep its mouth shut or they will admit they are working with us as subtly as they can. They will welcome us with open arms, and they will say, rid us of what we cannot rid ourselves of. And that is these nasty drug cartels. And we will go down there and kick their ass in a fashion that will be nothing short of hilarious. And again, I have no problem with the good people of Mexico at all. Not even a little bit. I think the Mexican people are some of the best people on the planet. Some of the nicest people on the planet. I eat Mexican food like 6 times a week. I love the Mexicans. I hate the drug cartels. And you can love the people of a country and recognize their government is corrupt as hell, working hand in hand with the cartels. And you can say, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to go in and we're going to kick your teeth in. Let's stop and think about this for a second. Drug cartels and their little sicarios running around with their AK-47s, they think they're real tough. They think they're the toughest, scariest people on the planet. You ever seen an Apache helicopter before? You ever seen the firepower on an Apache helicopter? That thing is a modern marvel. That thing is a work of art. It is incredible it's been invented. They're going to chew these guys up, tear them apart, annihilate them, and 30 tier 1 operators getting on target. And these skinny 140-pound sicarios come running out with AKs and just get turned to Swiss cheese. That's how that story ends. Make no mistake about it. You put Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, the Army Rangers on targets against drug cartel shooters, and it ends with complete and total annihilation. So let me know in the comments, get in the chat. Let's keep the chat active. You guys are crushing it right now. Get your super chats in. This does cost some money to run this. So everyone who's sending a super chat, I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. So I'm going to read some more questions here. Black Cat says, can you tell them from your side? Thank you. I don't know what that means. Black Cat, you might have to come back. I don't know what that means. My side of what? What are you referring to there? After victory in Venezuela, should we have a permanent U.S. military base there, Navy and Air, and a new near equator rocket launcher, rocket launch base? Kevin I'm sorry, dude. I can't pronounce your last name. Is it Stantwitz? That's a good question. Should we have a permanent military presence in Venezuela if we have to get rid of the Maduro regime? You know what? I honestly don't know the answer to that. I don't know if we need one. What we would do is we'd reopen the embassy. We'd have full embassy activity. We would be running it just like we were there regularly. It'd be everything normal. And we would have good diplomatic relations. You would have Marines at the embassy, but you wouldn't necessarily have a base. I don't know. That's actually a fascinating question. I'm actually a believer that having military bases around the world is a good thing. I think it is a great way to deter the enemy because you have the ability to respond from anywhere. and that terrifies bad people a lot. So I wouldn't be opposed to a small military presence. I just don't know. Bunker branding for merch, also unsub pod. I will check into that. I don't know what that is, but I'll see if I can find it. Don't listen to the Maduro trolls. Greetings from Canada. $5 the odds. I don't listen to the trolls at all. They don't take 1 second of my time. They are likely in their parents' basement. They're angry, bitter people. Listen, guys, I'm not a special person. I don't live any different of a life than anyone else watching this. I don't consider myself any different at all from the regular person. You just got to live life. You just got to find something you enjoy doing. I love talking about this stuff. I love reading the news. I love researching. The trolls don't bother me for one reason. I know our military is the best on the planet, and they can hem and haw all they want, and they can throw a tantrum, and they can throw a fit. I'm still going to get up at the same time in the morning, still going to eat chicken and rice for lunch, still going to crack open a cold beer watching the Wisconsin Badgers, even though we're having a terrible season. So the trolls don't matter to me at all. I appreciate it. I love the Canadians. I wish you guys had some better leadership up there, but maybe we'll have to liberate you. Says people need to know how to super chat. Some people are confused. You can tell them please and thank you, Black. Okay, guys, if you want to super chat in the comments, I'm going to pull it up here to make sure that I have this correct. If you want to super chat, all you do is, I'm going to pause this. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you how to do it. All right. Right here. If you want to send a super chat, here's how you do it. Get ready. I'm about to blow your minds. So, well, now I got to get rid of this. Whoops. Hold on. All right. See that little $sign at the bottom? That $sign, that's what you hit. So it says chat, smiley face, $sign. That $sign is your super chat. All right. We got a bunch of questions rolling in. It says, we need to be careful. Any action against the Mexican cartels, which I believe is necessary, could be perceived as attacking a country that borders us. This could throw our alliance with Canada into chaos. Yes, that is a great point. That comes from Mad Cabal. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Mad Cabal. Yes, that is a very good point. I don't think we're going to go in and not tell the Mexican government. I don't think we're going to go in without coordination with the Mexican government. The reason for that, the reason why is the Mexican government at the end of the day knows it cannot fix this problem. It knows it cannot get rid of the drug cartels. The Mexican government's not stupid. It knows that that's the reality of the situation. So you got to work with them. And what you have to say is you have to figure out an incentive package that is going to be good enough for the for the Mexicans, the Mexican government to say, you know what? We want to do this. Come in, and then we would go in with coordination with them, but they would pretty much hand it over to us because our military is incredible and theirs is a joke, and we would take care of that problem. And here's another thing, and I'll say this. If you think the dudes in the Army Rangers and you think the dudes in Delta Force and you think the dudes in SEAL Team 6, they're not chomping at the bit to go in there and start hitting targets, they are. And I know that because I talked to them, and they are as excited. They're a different breed of people. I was never in the military. I've never lied about that, never claimed I have been. In fact, I go out of my way to make it clear that I was never in the military. And the reason for that is what's wild is I actually didn't really have any interest in the military like I do now until probably early on in college. I think I was always interested. Then the UBL raid kicked off, and then I got real interested in it. And I haven't looked back since. Dudes who are in Delta Force are not like you and I. They are not. And I don't think I'm saying anything that's not well known. Is Bob Keller, Delta Force guy, retired now. Cool dude. As he says, and I'm going to say some bad language, warning, They're the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. And when they get in a gunfight, they're not scared. They are enjoying the adrenaline rush. They look to make contact with the enemy. They look to crush the enemy. And so if the Mexican government says, please come save us, we cannot do this on our own, you better believe they are going to go in there and unleash hell. So you make a good point, but I think we would do it with cooperation. Okay, Brian Barnes, $5. From what I understand, the cartels have former operators train the cartels with our methods and counter tactics. What are your thoughts? So yeah, this comes from an interview that went mega viral maybe like 6 months ago, where a guy claimed a former Delta Force dude is training a cartel. I believe the Los Zetas. Hold on one second. My throat is going a bit dry here. Listen, I checked around about that. I saw what I could about that, asked around. Nobody I asked knows. Okay, I want to be careful here. I don't want to say anything that's going to get me in trouble, but there's not that many guys walking the earth who were in Delta Force. Very few. Very, 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 very few. And I can tell you the ability of the U.S. government to get in contact with them whenever they want, if they ever need something, it's like that. It's immediate. They can find where those guys are immediately. So I did do some investigating into that. And everyone I talked to said that if that were true, they all said it's not true. They said if that were true, the U.S. government would know who the guy is immediately. He would have already been taken back to the U.S. and he'd already be in prison or on trial, whatever it might be. So now I think they said there was Green Beret or Rangers or SEALs. I don't know anything about that, but I can tell you with complete certainty, there is no Delta Force guy training the cartels. We've got for a 30. Thank you, Black Cat, $20 for a 30-pack of those beers. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And guys, if you're not already, bottom of the screen, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X D Hookstead. Please give me a follow there because I share a lot of cool stuff. And so yeah, we'll get some beers. We'll have a couple beers. When the war starts with Venezuela, when the bombs start falling, maybe we'll come on here, we'll crack a couple beers, we'll watch, I'll live stream the footage, we'll do live updates. I will make sure you guys have the best information you do. And now we got $20 from Black Cat for a 30-pack of beers. Neil Russell, $19.99. Thanks for the info. Thank you very much, Neil, for the $19.99. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys have no idea. I would not be able to do this if it weren't for you. The only reason I'm able to get on a camera every day and talk is because you guys care enough to show up, watch. So it means the world to me. We've got Deku 999, $5. Do you think this will make a domino effect when other South American countries such as Colombia and Mexico to join on Venezuela on the cartel side? I don't think those Colombia, if Colombia knows what's good for them, they will stay the hell away from this situation. And Gustav Petro, or whatever that D-bag's name is, he threatening Trump, he should think twice before he ever does that again. Because like I said, I don't care who the president is. You cannot threaten the president of the United States. Democrat, Republican, it could be a space alien who got elected president. That is the leader of our country. That is the most powerful man in the world. And if you threaten the president of the United States, you're not just threatening the president. You're threatening the country as a whole. And we will deal with that very, very, very harshly. No mercy, no remorse, no safe refuge, no safe harbor. There will be nowhere you can go. We will not find you if you threaten the president. Trump's already survived 2 different attempts on his life, one of which he got shot in. So, no, that guy, the leader of Colombia, is a clown. I don't think they would. And think about it this way. And I'm actually, let me get this ready to show you guys because I made a point of I wanted to show this to you. So let me get it teed up so it's ready to go here for you. When those countries see what we do to Venezuela, I don't think they're going to have any appetite whatsoever to get involved. Not even a little bit. So it says unsubscribe podcast, military bros. All right, I'll look into them. $4.99. Tunchi Trump, huge boost to the channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate the $5. We're back. Thank you, Viridian G. He's back for another $10. 95% of South Koreans love the U.S. The rest are warped. How about the One Piece flag merch? Good work, David. Yeah, I know most people love in Venezuela. Sorry, not Venezuela. In South Korea, love the U.S. You know, I've never been. I would love to go to South Korea. I have a bunch of friends who've been there. They all love it. They claim it's amazing. And I would also like to go to North Korea, but I'd only want to go to North Korea if and when I could see it and not on a guided tour. And I don't think that's going to happen. I know that my old boss, Tucker Carlson, he was over there when Trump did when he walked into North Korea. He was there and he was right there on the DMZ and they're pushing bodyguards away and they're filming. And that was insane. Trump walking into North Korea, that was crazy. But we are great allies of the South Korean people. We love the South Korean people. South Korean people are awesome. I had an Uber driver once that was a South Korean military, former South Korean. I believe he was a sniper. We talked for a while in the cars. You know, he's driving me to where I was going. I love the South Korean people. They are absolutely awesome. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I got a question. I got a question about the Bin Laden AAR recording. So for those of you who don't know, now this is a little off topic, but as I say, if you send a super chat, it does get answered. For those of you who are a little bit out of the loop, there is a massive controversy yet again erupting around the Bin Laden raid. And you might be surprised about, well, I'm going to choose my words here very carefully because I don't want to give away anything. After the mission that killed Osama bin Laden, SEAL Team 6 flew back, landed, and they had a debrief. That debrief was recorded. I have been told from multiple well-placed sources the contents of that recording. And all I'll say right now is you might be surprised what's on it. And furthermore, I reached out, got a statement from SOCOM, the governing body, and asked on the record if there was any reason to believe that the audio recording in the official AAR was falsified in any way. And they told me there's zero evidence, anything other than the truth is on that recording. When will that recording come out? I'm not going to answer that at this moment. The government does have it. That is true. The AAR is well documented and the government has it. And if I get the recording, I've pledged that I will release it. And I mean that. I think the truth matters. It serves a national vital interest. The story is a massive one of huge magnitude. What I might have to do is scramble the audio or distort a certain person's voice because I know he does not want to be known to the public. I know that he does not want any praise or anything. He doesn't want anyone to know his name. And by putting his voice out there, you might be doing enough for someone to recognize him. So I would do that. Stay tuned on that. Stay tuned on that. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Sorry, I just got a very important message. All right, we got another one. We need to send Maduro a present, one like Baghdadi. Yeah, well, Baghdadi got absolutely annihilated, got destroyed, right? They came in, they hit hard, they absolutely crushed them. And hold on, we got information coming in right now. I'm trying to figure out what is going on here. We've got information coming in right now. Stay tight. Okay, information has been received. All right. I'm not going to share that on the screen right now. Okay. Hold on. Sorry about that. Yes, I agree 100%. Baghdadi was a terrorist. He died. He died like a dog, as Trump said. Died like a dog. Died like a coward. A disgusting scumbag, loser, not worth the gunpowder necessary if we'd had to shoot him. And you know who else is a terrorist? A narco-terrorist, a person who's allowed his criminals, Tren de Aragua, to flood into our country? Nicolas Maduro. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no difference. Smoke him. Absolutely annihilate him. I like it. Tony 2A for $5. You and I are thinking the same. Says the liberal Canadian government is backstabbing the U.S., aligning with the Chinese Communist Party and the Fent Triad gangs. Read reporter Sam Cooper's book, Willful Blindness, or podcast interviews. I will make a note of that. We got Willful Blindness or podcast. I wish so badly the people of Canada had better leadership, because the people of Canada are awesome. Like, I partied several years ago, 2018. I partied with some Canadians. Dude, those people are absolutely incredible people. They're the most fun people on the planet. I mean, it's insane how entertaining they are. Unfortunately, your leaders are a bunch of commie losers who are scared of their own shadows. I'll say this. I know a couple Canadian Black Ops guys. Badass dudes. Badass dudes. So I'm sorry you don't have I'm sorry you don't have better leadership, man. I wish you did. All right, Black Cat back again for $5. Thank you very much, Black Cat. Fights are different these days. Drones, not boots on the ground. Ships, tanks, sorry, it's a different front. No, that's 100% true. That is 100% true. War is very different these days. There is no question about that at all. But drones, the reason drones are huge in Ukraine is because there's not total air supremacy. Russia has failed to establish complete control of the air. When you control the complete air and you can just establish the battle lines from 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 feet, drones are kind of a joke at that point. So what you're seeing in Russia is an evolution in warfare, no question about it. But there's nothing to match the firepower of a stealth bomber. And if you don't believe me about that, ask the Iranians how their uranium enrichment program is currently working after 14 30,000-pound bombs hit it. All righty. Colombian, Venezuelan here. U.S. and Colombia will perform joint operations against the guerrilla in 2026 with a right-leaning party president. The dilemma is the damage that Petro can inflict until. Very good point. That is a phenomenal point. If a right-wing leader comes in Colombia instead of the communists you have now, it's a totally different ballgame. Totally different ballgame. They would then welcome us in with open arms. We would be able to crush the commies. We would be able to, I mean, that would be amazing. In terms of stopping the cartels, if a right-wing president opened up the door and said, please come in, oh man, it would be incredible. And we would be able to wipe out cartels left and right like it was going out of style. So Andre Rodriguez, that's 20,000 Colombians. Does Colombia have the peso technically? I don't know. Okay, here we go. Sir, sorry, sir. They have Iran drones there, and I'm afraid it won't be easy. Black Cat, $5. Yeah, no, okay. That's true. That's not, I think you might have misunderstood what I'm saying. Does Iran have solid drones that can blow stuff up? Absolutely. The Russians have been using them. They've caused great damage. The problem is this for the Venezuelans, even if they have Iranian drones or whoever has drones of whatever kind, the cruise missiles, let's go back to what we talked about in the strikes. We've got 4 options up the ladder to hit them, right? 4 options. Once you hit the cruise missiles and you drop the bombs from the bombers, where are they going to get the drones from? Because you're going to wipe those out early on. You're going to find the warehouses they're stored at. You're going to find the bases they're stored at. And those drones, we would likely keep our ships at what is known as standoff distance, which would be out of the range of those drones potentially. And we have weapons and defense systems that can deal with that, I mean, those ships are incredibly well defended. So yes, you are correct, but it's not something I'm overly worried about. All right, here we go. Keep sending your questions in. I got a couple other things. This is what I wanted to show you. All right, let's take a look at Venezuelan air power. So for anyone who's in the comments being like, Venezuela can put up a fight, Venezuela has the ability to resist, Venezuela can do this, that, the next thing, whatever it might be, that is what it's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. We all know it's nonsense. Let's go ahead and look at the Air Force of Venezuela. All right. They have a total of 3 F-16s. 3. We have what? 190 F-22s? Good luck with your 3 F-16s. They have 21 Su-30s, which are 30-year-old aircraft. Here's a picture of them right. This is the Su-30 right here. This is the F-16 right here. So they got 24 fighter jets. How many of those are in flying condition? How many of those are in condition to actually get in the air and fight? And keep in mind, what we're going now, they scrambled some planes today. Did you all see this? I made a video about it. Did you see this? They sent a bunch of fighter jets up in the air doing what nobody seems to have any idea what they were doing. They sent a bunch of planes up. They sent fighter jets. They were sending cargo planes. They were probably moving stuff. I don't know, but they were sending all these planes up in the air, scrambling their forces. Maybe it was a show of force. I don't really know. But the reality is it's not going to matter because those planes are never going to get off the ground. We're not going to send planes into Venezuela before hitting them with cruise missiles. Remember, cruise missiles is the bare minimum. That's the low-level option. And hitting their planes is going to be a top priority for that, right? We're not going to risk their planes getting in the air. We're going to hit their early warning radar. We're going to hit their air defenses. We're going to hit their planes. We're going to hit anything they could use against our planes. So they've got 24 fighter jets, 1 electronic warfare. They got 1 tanker. They've got very few transport planes. They've got a couple helicopters. None are attack helicopters. So their Air Force is a joke. And then if we go to their Navy, or actually, let's go here. Let's go to their air defenses. Because there's a point I want to make. All right, so these are their air defenses right here. They've got the S-300. They have 12 of them, allegedly. They've got the Buk M2E. They got 9 of them. And they've got the S-125. Let's take a look at these. So the S-125, invented in 1961. The Buk M2E, invented in 1980. And the S-300 is more advanced. It's the second most advanced the Russians have. 2013 is when it went live. Iran had way better air defense than all of that. All of it. And our B-2 stealth bombers, escorted by F-22s and F-35s, had absolutely no problem open a can of whoop ass on them. So let's take a look at this. This is one of the major parts of the Venezuelan air defense. The S-125. This, which you're looking at your screen right now, someone's saying most of our, this is a good point. This is a great point from reality. Most of their arsenal isn't even operational for many, many years. Correct. We don't actually know how much of this stuff works. We just know that this is allegedly what they have. This was invented, this went into service in 1961. 1961. It is 2025. That was 64 years ago. You're going to try to shoot down F-35s with missiles that you invented 65 years, or the Soviets invented, not the Venezuelans, 65 years ago. Get the hell out of here. No way. No way. So their air defenses are a complete and total joke. Let's look at their Navy. Let's look at their Navy right here. All right. So what you see now is their Navy on the ship. I'm going to answer some more questions here soon, so get your questions in soon. All right. So let's look at their Navy. They've got one light frigate. They've got a couple patrol vessels. They got a handful of amphibious and surface ships, a couple Coast Guard ships, and then a total of 8 aircraft and a total of 18 helicopters. That is the entire Venezuelan Navy. I mean, what are we even doing? There are people who, how could I forget? They have one submarine and one mini submarine. Are you terrified? Are you terrified? One submarine, one mini submarine. That's what they're bringing to the fight? I don't think so, folks. I don't think so at all. And then I wanted to show you guys this as well because I thought it was cool. Let me get this on the screen. All right, so Southcom released a video of jets, Harrier jets, doing live fire exercises in the Caribbean, and I thought this was epic. And again, right here on the bottom of the screen, Instagram, David_Hookstead, XD Hookstead. Make sure you're following me there. Here they come, flying around. Let's watch it again. And just like that, your entire Navy fleet from Venezuela is gone. So, hey, look, I got to get up real quick. I'm going to go grab a drink, I think. Are we cool with that? Is everyone good with that? And I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Get your questions in now while I'm going to be gone for a minute and a half. Get your questions in now. We're just going to start. Anything you want to ask me, fire away. Super chats get priority. I will answer all your questions. We're now going to do the Q&A, heavy Q&A segment of the show. Fire away with your comments below. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're coming back. Whoops. All right, we are back. We are back. What do we got for questions? What do we got for questions? Let's see what we got. All right, we're going to do Q&A now. What do we got? What do we got? Okay, so we're back on the drones. We're back talking about the drones and what the Venezuelans have in their drone arsenal. So Tony 2A says they have very limited to where they can launch those drones. I agree 100%. I'm not as worried as the drone. It's not that it's not concerning. It is concerning, but I'm not that terrified of it, if you will, not that worried about it. So yes, that is a great point. Tony 2A back with another $2. Telegram versus an Alienware gaming computer. What is that? Could you explain a little more what that means? I know what Telegram is. What is Alienware gaming computer? All right. Okay, let's see what we got in the comments. Is Venezuela a threat? Yes, but not the people of Venezuela. The people of Venezuela are not our problem. That's not who we have an issue with. We don't have a problem with the good people of Venezuela. We don't have any issue with the good people of Venezuela. We have an issue with Nicolas Maduro. And that's why this war needs to happen. That's why we have to take him out. Because these guys, the Maduro regime, have the scumbags in it, have flooded our country with drugs, poison, violence. They've ripped our communities apart. They have unleashed hell on earth. Just terrible, terrible things. And like I said earlier in the video, it's not that we love violence and conflict and war. We don't. We love our people so much that we must be willing to do anything to defend them. And if that means someone is threatening you, you have to go ahead and crush them. Wait, is there an issue? I'm seeing some comments in this. Is there an issue on the video feed? Let me know in the comments if the video is working. I'm going to try to make sure I'm checking it on my end. Can you guys all see me? Can you guys all see me? Am I there? I think I am. I think it's working. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so it is good. All right. I don't know what happens. People were saying it wasn't good. All right. Yeah. The reality is this is a great chat right here. Sending fentanyl is just like sending bullets. Correct. Correct. Because you're killing our people. You're ripping lives apart. You are absolutely decimating families. You are decimating communities. And I don't know how people do not understand this. I do not know how people do not get that this is, and I'm going to show you this right here. This is President Trump. I'm going to put this on the screen because that's a great point, which you just made. It's no different. So let's get some comments from President Trump where he talks about the horrors of what these do. And he talks about the horrific way these people die. Should be right here.
The sea, by, the waterways. And you know why, okay? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Would I do that on the land cars? I would absolutely. Look, every boat we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives, not to mention the destruction of families. These families are decimated forever. The mother, the father, the children, they never recover really from it. When you lose somebody, like the way they live, if you lose them, but the way they die is horrible. So when we knock out a boat and we save 25,000 lives, that's great. Now, do I feel the same way about the corridors that they use? We know every one of them. We have every one of those corridors under major surveillance. We have nobody coming in through our southern border. But we know exactly how they get their things here, how they get the drugs here, fentanyl, cocaine. Colombia has cocaine factories where they make cocaine. Would I knock out those factories? I would be proud to do it personally. I didn't say I'm doing it, but I would be proud to do it because we're going to save millions of lives by doing it.
Would you only do it?
So right there, President Trump talks about the horrible, horrible way these people die. These people who have become addicted to this, the substances, the poison, and my heart breaks for them. So yes, to that comment, it's no different than sending bullets. I agree 1,000%. 1,000%. Because what you're doing is you are killing our people. And I'm sick and tired of it. And I'm sick and tired of reading in the news of people who died from this poison. And yes, I understand that people who use this stuff have a responsibility. It is what it is. I understand that. But that does not absolve in any sense the people who have pushed that poison into this country. Cut the head off of the snake and be brutal when you do it, because they deserve nothing less. I'm going to pull this off the screen real quick. All right, we got some more chats coming in. Black Cat back with another $5. Thank you very much. You've been great tonight. Do you think modern warfare is something we should look at as it has changed how things work? Sorry, I'm a typo king. Dude, I make so many typos when I'm texting real fast to people. It's ridiculous. We got to look at everything that changes. We got to look at everything that changes. If there's an evolution on the battlefield, you got to be aware of it. You've got to figure out what's going on. You got to learn how to counter. So yes, we have to soak up all that information. We have to constantly be adapting, constantly be evolving. It's critically important. Tony 2A back with the Telegram new Alienware. I'm saying it's like an old Telegram versus a new Alienware gaming computer. Got you. Very interesting. I'm not a big video game guy. Was never really my thing, but I appreciate it. All right, what do we got here? Time to free. Okay, I'm pulling. This is a great point. We went into Panama, got rid of Noriega. Panama's doing great. That's the model. That is the model. That is the model of what we are trying to do. We want to free the people of Venezuela. We want the people of Venezuela to do well for themselves. Let's see what we got here. Manuel Salgado, I believe the only thing that could stop Trump is eternal politics and how unpopular attacking Venezuela could be. He doesn't want to damage his rep as a peacemaker. Thoughts? Great point. No, that's a very fair point. I don't think it is unpopular, though. I think that people understand you have to confront these threats wherever they might be. And if that means you have to go down there and take care of them, and as Trump says, we're losing 100,000 people a year. This is going to be a quick war. We are going to go in and steamroll them, crush them, show no mercy to the Maduro regime, not to the people of Venezuela. We are with the people of Venezuela. So, yes, there could be some internal pushback. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think people are sick and tired of our communities being torn to shreds. I think people are sick and tired of the world that we've had to live in. And I'm not worried about that, but that is a great point. Something to think about for sure. All right. Joseph Johnson, $2. Do we have enough intel to take Maduro out? Yes, absolutely. We are locked and loaded. We know where Maduro is at all times. We know where Maduro is at all times. No question about it. We know where he is. We know where he's going to be. We know everything that can happen. And we could, at any time, if we wanted to, just drop a bomb on Maduro's bunker. Guys, we hunt people down in caves 6,000 miles on the other side of the world who don't even use modern communications. Our intel apparatus is incredible. Best in the world. Not even close. The French are good. The Russians aren't bad. The Israelis aren't bad. Nobody can match the U.S. Why? Because our technology and our money is better than anyone else's. So we have the intel to know where he is at all times, and we can hit him whenever we want. All right, Timothy Weaver, did you see I assume that's supposed to be Sean Ryan Bissonette interview. Did you see the Sean Ryan Bissonette interview? Truth matters regardless of anything for so many reasons. Keep up the lives. I'm having Sammy adds Oktoberfest. Oh, Sam Adams. He's drinking a Sam Adams. Tim's drinking a Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Enjoying. I don't know about Venezuela. Drug war strategy, not great. Well, yeah, but this is different. This isn't the drug war they ran in the 60s and 70s was a joke. I did see the Matt Bissonette interview. Actually, I pulled part of it here. I'll put it on Instagram. So for those who don't know, Matt Bissonette was on the Bin Laden raid. I'm going to put this up on the screen here. Matt Bissonette is the first SEAL ever to talk about the existence of, actually, there's probably a better way to do this. Let me try to do it this way. Let me see if I can do it this way. So Matt Bissonette was a member of SEAL Team. He was on the Bin Laden raid. He was there when Osama bin Laden was killed. He was a member of the raid. Hold on. I'm going to try to get this up so you guys can see it. And he spoke with Sean Ryan. And I'm going to see if I can pull this up for you. Give me a second because I got to get it ready to go on YouTube. All right. I'm going to get this set up. Just give me one moment. And then you are going to watch. I'll show this moment from the Sean Ryan interview with Matt Bissonette. We're going to go full screen. Now, I assume the reason this was brought up, so that's Matt Bissonette right there. I assume the reason Tim asked this question is because Matt has a story that is different from what a lot of people have been told. And Matt was a decorated SEAL Team 6 veteran. I'm not going to get into the feud or the controversy right now, but what he did say in the interview with Sean Ryan, I knew when I was doing this live, I was going to end up talking about the Osama bin Laden raid. There will be much more to come. He talks about the existence of the audio recording. This audio recording is critically important because, as I've been told by sources, it is not what people might expect. Oh, it's muted.
Tell you our debrief, right? When we came back, we landed in Bagram.
Oh, I should say this is the first time ever a member of SEAL Team 6 has publicly confirmed the existence of the bin Laden recording.
We went into a room and the whole team that had just participated in that mission did a debrief. Just like we do after BUDS, just like we do in BUDS after every training mission, after every real operation, you do an AAR after action review. We did that with the whole group there, and it was audio recorded.
It was audio recorded.
My commanding officer on his personal cell phone recorded the whole debrief. Other versions, whatever, all I know is what I know, what I saw, and what I remember on the audio recording. So that's all I'll say about that.
So that is Matt Bissonette, a member of SEAL Team 6, who was on the Osama bin Laden raid, publicly confirming the existence of the audio recording that you guys like to ask about a lot. It's going to get sporty. It's going to get sporty. I'll leave it at that for now. All right. This says, Clark, $5. We will see a quick strike or a sustained conflict as in an overnight Delta cruise missile stealth or Marines on and ground. So Clark, I don't know if you watched earlier in the video. I said we have 4 levels. There's 4 steps on the ladder. Step 1 is cruise missiles, and cruise missiles just targeting military targets, but not targeting the Maduro regime. That's what they might start with. Step 2 would be cruise missiles matched with a massive bombing campaign. This would likely target the Maduro regime. Step 3 would be seizing the airfields, the ports. That would be boots on the ground. And then step 4 would be Delta Force or SEAL Team 6 being sent in to do a direct assault on Maduro and take him out. That is what we have there. My guess is it will be short, it'll be fast, it'll be lightning quick, and you might see some boots on the ground, but it wouldn't be an overwhelming number because the Maduro regime just simply does not have the ability to do it. I'll say this as a United States Marine vet. If the United States Marine Corps gets involved and attack Maduro, Cabela, and Padrino, there is another issue at hand, and that is civil war between the Venezuelan opposition and Chavismo. Yes, that is a great point. Something to be considered, something to think about. Nothing is ever super smooth. I think we all know that. I think that, yeah, you would have a transition period where things could get really dicey. That's just the fact of the matter. That's the truth of the matter. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that's not the case, because it is. Tony 2A, the Venezuelan people deserve a free and fair democracy, an election to prosper as people and a country. 1,000%. They're in our hemisphere. The Monroe Doctrine, which has made the United States thrive in our region, makes it very clear that we will not allow hostile and enemy forces to do anything detrimental to us. And the good people of Venezuela absolutely deserve free and fair elections. And they had an election and Maduro lost, and then he just hung on to power. He stole power after he clearly lost the election. He is an illegitimate leader. He's a narco-terrorist. He is a gangster. He's a thug. That's who he is. And you can't tolerate that. You got to get rid of him. So yes, I stand with the people of Venezuela. Timothy Weaver, $1.99. The government bent biz over, I believe him. Yeah, well, he lost, what was it, 6.8 million, 7 million? That's ridiculous. Every admiral seems to write a book, Netflix documentaries, utterly outrageous. That, and again, I want to be careful because there's a lot of things behind the scenes going on, not just at SEAL Team 6, but at Delta Force as well. It's not really my place to speak on it. The hypocrisy, the absolute asinine hypocrisy, where the enlisted guys who put their life at risk aren't allowed to talk about missions publicly, but the senior leadership, the generals and the admirals, they can go write books, they can go make money, they can go be rich, they can cash in on being at SEAL Team 6 or whatever it might be. But the guys who actually have to face the gunfire of the enemy, they cannot. And if you do, you'll be ostracized, you'll be thrown out of the circle, you'll be crushed. At a minimum, it warrants a conversation, right? At a minimum, it's like, why is that acceptable? Why is that double standard acceptable? Jeff B says, now we're on bin Laden. So are we all going to just keep talking about the bin Laden raid? Guys, I love talking about the bin Laden raid. I could talk about it all day long without getting bored. So he says, Jeff B, wait till you find out who authorized the raid. It wasn't POTUS. Jeff, I'm going to need way more information than that if you want me to believe that. Whether you like Obama or not, I didn't like Obama. He is the commander-in-chief, and the reality of the situation is that the commander-in-chief has complete and total control of the U.S. military. I don't believe anyone other than Barack Obama ordered that raid. I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that. So, Jeff, feel free to fire back in the chat with what you mean there. But when it comes to the Osama bin Laden raid, I have zero belief that the president did not order it. All right, let's see what we got. David, do you think Mexico is just as bad as Venezuela? No. Mexico is essentially a failed narco state. I'm not saying that because I want to dunk on people from Mexico. I'm not trying to crush you. I love the Mexican people. I've got a Modelo or two in the fridge right now. I love Mexican food. I've been to Mexico. They're great, hardworking people. No issues with them at all. Here's the difference between Venezuela and Mexico. Mexico is not serving as a launching point for the Russians, Iranians, and Chinese, and the Mexican government itself is not deemed a terrorist organization. Marco Rubio, the tweet we showed earlier, I'll put it back on the screen right here. Marco Rubio made it clear that they are going to designate the Maduro regime a terrorist organization. And that in and of itself puts Maduro in the rules of engagement. We do a lot of trade with Mexico. We have some really good relations with Mexico. I don't think Mexico is as bad as Venezuela because it's not a top-down approach. Maduro is the one running the show. He is the one who is calling the shots. He is the one who is, without question, responsible for all this terror. So I can't say that Mexico is worse than Venezuela. I just don't believe that's the case. All right, pull this off the screen. You guys are firing in a ton of questions. I love it. Guys, you can ask me questions about whatever you want. We're now in the Q&A portion of the show. You guys go ahead and hold on. I'm getting more messages in right now. All right. Well, that wasn't really big. All right, what do we got? The questions are, yes, this is great. This is literally the point I was trying to make from Cass Fowler. This isn't about oil. It's about Russia, China, and Iran using Venezuela as a staging area in our hemisphere. Monroe Doctrine. This isn't about oil or natural resources. It may be a small part, but not why. Thank you, Cass. Thank you. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make. This is about much more than just the idea that we need guys, we have oil. We are close allies with Saudi Arabia, who has a ton of oil. This is about not letting a hostile dictatorship thrive in our hemisphere. That's what this is about. And we've given every chance to Maduro to do the right thing and leave. And he hasn't done it. So we're going to try plan B now, which is we're just going to, in likely brutal fashion, get rid of you. And you're not going to like how that goes. All right, we got a couple more chats coming in. My Mexican buddy's dad loves Tecate. Get that. I love Tecate too. All right, Jeff B. I just saw we have a super chat from Jeff B, but there's a person's name in it. Let me check to see if the person's famous. And if he's out there, I'll put it on the screen. I generally don't like putting names on screen. So Jeff, I do see your super chat. He says, you and I need to have a conversation. Friend of a name, Seal Delivery Vehicle Team 1. Okay, Jeff, you grabbed my interest about the Bin Laden raid. Now I'll give you that. Jeff, hit me up. Instagram, David_Hookstead, XD Hookstead. That's where you can find me. Great question. Great question. What makes you think, why doesn't Maduro want to step down as of now? 2 reasons. He might think we're bluffing. He might think the United States is not actually going to do it. He might think the United States is just playing a game with him. I can promise you we are not. I can promise you we are 1,000% not playing a game. So he might think we're bluffing. You know who else thought we were bluffing in 2003? Saddam Hussein. Last time I checked, no one's heard from him in a long, long time. The other reason might be that he's addicted to the power and money. And his ego will not let him step aside. That's also very, very possible. And that level of hubris will get him killed. Because once our bombers come in, there is nothing that is going to save him. Nothing. And there could be a deal to be made where he gets to keep his money and leaves to Russia, wherever. And he gets to have a nice life. He takes his money and leaves, and that's the end of it. But if he thinks we're bluffing, he's got another thing coming. Captain Sasquatch, $5. Maduro, I assume that's who you mean by he, must not know Donald Trump very well. Bingo. You know who else thought Trump might be bluffing? The Iranians. The Iranians didn't think Trump was serious about going ahead and hitting targets. Turned out he was. And how'd that go? How'd that go for the Iranians at the end of the day? How'd that go for the Iranian regime? They don't have a nuke program anymore. Their enrichment's been totally destroyed. So they thought Trump was bluffing too. Turned out he wasn't. All right, what else we got here? Here we go. Joker Curtis, 1983, says it's harder to detect drones. That is true. They fly below radar levels. They have a small signature. We still have ways to detect them, and I'm not going to get into overly specifics, but we also have tools that can bring down a ton of drones at once. All right, what do we got here? So, great question. Cablerus, what are the reports of Russian mobile launchers in Venezuela with IRBMs? So, yes, the Venezuelans, so they don't have the IRBMs yet, I don't believe. They do have the shoulder launch rockets. Russia threatened, this is a big difference. Russia threatened to send Venezuela the IRBMs. They did send them some air defense tools. They threatened to send them the offensive weapons. As of now, we have no intel to indicate that those weapons actually arrived. So, yes, Russia did send them offensive weapons. We do not know. We do not know past that. I want to say they did send defensive weapons. We don't think they sent them the offensive weapons, even though they threatened they would. $5 from Alex Alamenti. David, so do you agree that the dialogue that Trump will have with Maduro and Cabello will be either you get out now alive or dead in pieces? Yes, that's exactly. Trump and Rubio are going to tell Maduro, here are your options. Pack a big suitcase, get your nicest suitcase, get your nicest private jet, fuel that jet up, pack your bags, pack your clothes, and then fly to wherever you want. Cuba. They're saying you might go to Turkey, which is a little odd because Turkey's a NATO ally. Or don't leave, stay in Venezuela, and we'll just bomb you. That's exactly how that conversation is going to go. And then the question becomes, is Maduro dumb enough to where he does not pack his bags and leave? And at the end of the day, only Maduro knows the answer to that. All right, what do we got for... Here we go. One from Peter Wilson. Don't forget your passport, Maduro. Go play games with Vladimir and the Syrian president. He will fly to Moscow. Here we go. Oh, this is a great pivot. We're talking about Russia's attack on Poland. So for those of you who don't know, Russia sent in a black ops team into Poland. Poland is now confirmed it was the Russians, and they blew up a rail line. And it's a big deal. It's a huge deal. Do I think the U.S. will get involved? I don't think we're going to bomb Russia over that. We're not going to start World War III over a rail line. What we will do is we will send a lot more resources, a lot more assets into the region that then they will be able to use to defend themselves. And it will also be a show of force. Wouldn't be surprised if we fly some bombers around around Poland. And it's a huge deal, guys. Russia attacking Poland is a huge, huge, huge deal. Okay, we got Jeff Bernard saying you won't beat Russia, and damn sure won't beat the Chinese. Hey, idiot. Russia is struggling to beat Ukraine, right? You know how many stealth jets the Russians have? They claim to have 10. It's believed 1 or 2 might work. You know how many stealth bombers the Russians have? 0. Not 1. Not 1. Look, 0. 0. China, China is pumping up their military for sure. They're building a bunch of stuff. We have no idea if it works because honestly, they haven't had to be in a fight in generations. So again, not that worried about it. 0, the Su-57 is not stealth, whatever the Russians say. So for those of you who don't know, the Su-57 is the Russian stealth fighter. And as T-6000 says, it ain't really all that stealthy. That is true. Someone said you don't answer females. That's not true. I answer all super chats, and I answer the ones I can as quickly as they come in. So I'm engaged. I love women. A little bit of a weird comment, Kelly. All right, we've got Tony 2A again. Damn, Tony, you've been all over tonight. There's another channel that covers war that thinks Venezuela is a waste of time, but they don't get what you just said about Russia and China. Yeah, guys, this is about way more than just the drugs and cartels. And I hope by watching this tonight, I have made the point clear that this is about much, 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 much more than just drug cartels, than just blowing up boats. It's about a lot more than that. So yes, this has to do with allowing foreign influence in our sphere and in our hemisphere, and we're not going to do it. We're not going to tolerate it. We're just not going to tolerate it. All right, let's see what we got here. So Diane says he engages and talks with everyone. Thank you very much. That's what I try to do. I try to talk to everyone I can. What else do we got? Is this true? Personal account. Maduro's birthday is on November 23rd. Maybe that'd be a hell of a birthday present. Because remember, November 24th, that's the day the U.S. is legally allowed to take him out. So the fact, actually, that can't be an accident, right? That cannot be an accident. They obviously had to do that on purpose. All right, what do we got here? The Su-57 has a cross-section of a beach ball, so that's what it would look like picked up on radar. The F-35 is the size of a BB. Yeah, literally. Guys, I want to stress this to you all. People do not understand the level of difference between the United States of America in our technology, in our stealth technology, and the rest of the world. It ain't close. It ain't comparable. It's not close at all. The Russians, they talk a big game, but that's all about it is. All right, should I ban this guy in the chat? Should I ban this guy claiming Russia is better than America in the chat? I'll leave it up to a vote. You guys let me know. Should I ban him in the chat? If you're going to come in here and be like, all right, do you believe an attack on Taiwan is imminent, whether that be in 1 year or 10? Yes, I believe it. The window is 27 to 2032. So yes, absolutely. I do believe China will make a move on Taiwan. The only way Xi does not is if the United States shows enough military deterrence that we make them think twice and we make it clear to them that any attempt on Taiwan results in the Chinese Navy being completely eliminated, completely destroyed. And I think that absolutely China will make an attempt. Everyone's saying ban them, ban them, ban them. Problem is, you guys are doing so great in the comments. I don't know if I can find them. We'll see if he's dumb enough. All right, he's gone. If you're going to come in here and just spread lies, listen, I'm open to having any conversation you want. I'm open to now my fiance's in the chat. I am open to talking about whatever you want, but you got to stick to facts. And if you're going to come in here and spew BS, it's just not going to happen. So now my fiance's booing in the chat. All right, guys, I'm going to do a couple more minutes. If you have any last questions, any super chats, guys, you guys have no idea how I'm so grateful for the super chats. It is huge. You guys have no idea how important that is. We got to pay to keep the lights on around here. So get your super chats in. We'll do a couple more minutes, and then I will answer all your super chats, and then I will bounce. So get your last questions coming in right now. We got Healthy Nutrition Fit, $5. Thank you for the updates. Guys, thank you for watching. I love doing this. This is the most fun I have every single day. This is amazing every single day. You guys are the absolute best. So thank you very much. It is amazing being with you. Someone said, okay, does Cuba have a direct involvement in the conflict? Why is Trump making about this drugs? There's a Colombian cartel, the Mexican army. Why Venezuela? Cuba gives intelligence. So for those of you who don't know, Cuba actually has an incredible intelligence apparatus. It's one of the best in the world. And so what Cuba's addition to this conflict is, they are feeding the Venezuelans intel. That's what they are doing. And so, yes, they are involved. They are propping up Maduro. There are Cuban advisors, Cuban intel people in Venezuela. They are absolutely 100% involved. Why is Trump making about this about drugs? There's legal justification reasons. It is about drugs in part. It's not the whole thing. The whole thing's not about drugs. Big difference there. So that's why. All right, what else do we got? You know what? I'm going to throw this on the screen just because I like it. Anytime you guys send me American flags, I'm always going to put them on the screen. I'm never going to say no to the American flags. All right, we got a nice $10 from Laughing Cats. I worked at an OCN refinery in Venezuela, and the oil is so crude it needs extra refining. It blows out the piping from coke buildup. It needs another 200,000 years to be Saudi grade. Venezuela oil is junk. Well, there you go, right there. That proves that we're not going to take oil because it's shitty, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. Thank you for sharing that. That's great. I've heard that before. Isn't it called heavy crude? It's called heavy crude, I believe. So that is 100% accurate. We've talked about this earlier in the show. What will happen to Venezuela when the U.S. invades? The government gets steamrolled. The government gets absolutely steamrolled. David for president 2028. I will be eligible age-wise. I'm not going to tell you my exact age, but I will be eligible. Should I run? Should I run for president? I don't think I'd have a lot of fun being president, to be quite honest with you. I don't think I would enjoy it very much. But, you know, probably not. Probably not going to run for president, but I appreciate the very kind words. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, everyone is saying Venezuelan oil is terrible. All right, what do we got? This is correct. Cuba's experts at sabotage, comms, and intel. It's all they have. That is correct. No question about it. All right, Jeff B says, sent over my info. Did you send it over on Instagram or did you send it over on Twitter? Let me check. I just want to make sure I don't miss it. Oh, I see it now. All right, cool. Thank you very much. I will circle back on that. Juan Fergazo would think any other country would support Venezuela to defend them in South America. No, they're going to talk like they will. They're going to claim that they will. They're going to talk a big game, talk a huge game. They won't do anything at the end of the day. End of story. No one is coming to Venezuela's defense. They might ship, Russia will probably ship them more weapons. Won't make a difference at the end of the day. Not going to happen. Carl, run for president. I will vote for you. Thank you very much. Again, I'll have to think about it. Probably not, though. I have too much fun hanging out with you guys. If I'm hanging out with you guys, I don't think they're going to let me be president. People are now guessing my age in the comments. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. I think you can find it online. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Medvedev Ted. Is that a play on Dmitry Medvedev, the old Russian president? S-125 is nothing to sneeze at. The Serbs shot down an F-117A Nighthawk stealth fighter back in the 1999 with an S-125. That is true. That is true. They did shoot it down. I would tell you the stealth difference between an F-17A Nighthawk and what we have now. There's considerable upgrades. The stealth technology is not at all similar. I'm not worried at all about the S-125. That's the least of my concerns. Someone says I'm a kid. I look like I'm 31. You're getting close. Haven't hit it yet, though. Thanks for the updates and the USA patriotism. Always appreciate the content and facts. Me and my hubby watch every day, and we try to beat each other to the videos. That is awesome. Thank you, Diane. Thank you very much, man. That makes me smile. It's a reminder that, again, I say it all the time. You guys are the best audience. I could not do this without you. The only reason I'm able to have the fun that I have is because of you guys. So we're just going to go for a couple more minutes here. I just heard my fiance come in. So we've got people saying I'm 27. We got people saying I'm 35. We got people saying I'm 38. I'll tell you what, if we get a big enough super chat, I will tell you how old I am. You might be surprised. We'll run it out. Send your last messages in. I got to get ready to go. Stealth plane. Someone said stealth planes aren't fast. Isn't the F-22 top speed? Yeah, it goes Mach 2.5, 1,500 miles per hour. The F-35. Yeah, the F-35 is one of the fastest planes in the world, and it's also the stealthiest in the world. We got people saying 41, 28, 25, or 26. Someone's saying the top speed of the F-22 is classified. Yeah, that's actually probably true. The Chinese, for drilling rig down, they just get their name on the board, but they had many more aspirations. Fair point. But I'm not giving my age up for $5. No way. Are we having an Israel-Iran debate in the comments now? All right. I'm going to set a timer. We're going to do 5 more minutes of Q&A. Let me get a timer. We'll do 5 more minutes of Q&A. If someone sends in a big enough super chat, I don't know. What do you guys think the number should be? You think we go a couple hundred? If someone actually pulls the trigger on a few $100, I will tell you how old I am. I'm not even kidding. He's most likely near 30. Probably a safe guess. My age is on the internet, but it's wrong. It's incorrect. People don't. The websites that claim they know my age do not have it correct. Now they're saying I'm 28, 43. The gap here is. So I talked about this, Travis. Should we be concerned with weapons from Russia to Venezuela? Yeah, it's concerning, but I don't think it's something we need to panic about. I don't think it's something that is going to change the dynamics all that much. I don't think Russia's going to send them offensive weapons. Maybe they will. I don't know. He's a vampire. Okay, I got to put this on the screen. This is actually funny. He's actually 147. I can promise you I'm not 147. Do I think the B-2 stealth bomber will be used on Venezuela? Absolutely could be. Absolutely could be. So no one's pulling the trigger on how old I am with a super chat. Interesting. B2s are a bit slow, which is why they are always accompanied. All right. Is this true? Chinese generals in Venezuela? I'm going to have to look that up. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's a good tip. I will look up whether or not there are Chinese generals. All right, we got 3 minutes left. Ask me questions about whatever you want. Ask me questions about whatever you want. No topics off limits. People are now going to AI in the comments to try to find out how old I am. Someone says, do you believe in God? I absolutely believe in God. What is NATO? Are we talking about what is NATO going to do in terms of Russia after the attack in Poland. They're going to rush resources into Poland. They're going to start flying bombers up and down the Russian coast, Russian border. They're going to put naval assets. Someone says, how long have you served? I was never in the military. I've been very clear about that many, many, many times. I've never once claimed ever to have been in the military. Great respect for the military, was never in it. So there's your answer to that. Someone's now saying I'm a teenager. No. All right. Time for a few more questions. Do you think Maduro would be handed over easily by his own regime? No, because he's purged it. He keeps the most loyalist people to him, closest to him, to make sure there is no coup attempt. He's gotten rid of anyone that could be an issue. So, do you guys want to see my dog real quick? My fiance's dog? I know I used to close out the show by pointing out that that the dog was in the house. So get your last super chats in. I'm going to go get the dog. You guys can see the dog. Here. I'll see if they'll bring him to me. All right. I can hear the dog coming. Now, he doesn't really love being up here, but hold on. Ooh, ooh. This is Dusty the dog. Dusty, look, you're on camera. Look, he's even got a cool little bandana on. Oh, he doesn't really like being up here. There you go, buddy. Oh, he's taking off. He's going back to lay on the couch. The dog's name is Dusty. Is it a lap dog? It is, but he doesn't like to be elevated in positions. He likes to sit. He likes to sleep all day on the couch. And so I'm. You can't tell because of the set, but I'm actually on a little bit of an elevated position. And so he doesn't really love it when we get up here, and then he takes off. But no, he's a great dog. Let me see if I can find a photo of him. Let me see if I can find a photo of Dusty the dog for you all. A good photo to show you. Let me pull this up. Whoops. Hang tight. This is Dusty the dog. Let's see where he is. Well, these photos aren't. Okay, here he is. I'll throw up Dusty the dog for you. This is a good photo. Hang tight. This is him in his younger years. All right, photo of Dusty the dog coming up. That is Dusty the dog, as we call him on the show. Good looking dog. Very, very, very good looking dog. So that's Dusty. Guys, this has been awesome. This has been a ton of fun. I love you all. I appreciate you all coming in. I appreciate you all spending your time with me. It means a lot. Someone asked if my Outkick sign is 3D printed. No, it is not. That is wood, actually. It's a wood carving. So yes, that was Dusty the dog. Send Dusty to Venezuela and he'll kick ass. There you go. All right. Thank you guys. Oh, here we go. We got one last super chat that came in. I think Venezuela could bring in whatever they want to bring in from Russia and the Chinese government, but we're only 500 miles away and we can pretty much see everything they're doing and where they put them. Yes, correct. That is 1,000% correct. And that's why I'm not overly worried about that. I don't think that's going to change the war. I don't think that's going to change the outcome whatsoever. But that is a great point. But anyways, thank you very much, Tony 2A, for the $20 super chat. Means a lot. You guys have been a bunch of fun. I love you all. Thank you for coming in. I will continue to put out videos with new updates as we have them. We'll start doing more live streams. We've had a great 2-hour and 20-minute live stream. You guys go out there, have a great rest of your Tuesday night. I'll see y'all. Thank you very much.